right here we have Oxford High School. Oxford competes in 6A Region 6. The region opponents are Clay Chalkville, Gardendale, Huffman, Pale City, Pinson Valley, and Shakes Valley. Representing Oxford today are head football coach Keith Etheridge, and his players are senior defensive back Antoine Fagans and senior athlete Zay Britt, and coach, you brought
J. Rock Swain.
J. Rock Swain as well. And so Coach Etheridge, we'll start with your opening comments, sir.
First of all, I'd like to say I'm happy and blessed to be at Oxford High School. Got some great leadership there. Coach Davidson, the athletic director, Mr. Harmon, the principal, and Dr. Goodwin, the superintendent. So it's been a great situation. I think it's going to be a great fit. We got great young men who work extremely hard, and super proud of how hard they worked this summer. And I think we've gotten better and better as the summer's progressed, and I think we're just ready to put the pads on and go to work.
Mr. Midley, start us off.
Keith, can you just tell us what the last couple of months have been like, kind of building your program, laying the foundation for that, and what do you see there, and kind of how have you gotten your feel, I guess, at Oxford?
Yeah, first thing is you got to go in and get familiarized with the coaches you have on staff, and they are a great group of guys. You got Chad Cochran running our defense, who's been a former head coach. He does a fantastic job. He's a great guy to have in the weight room. He's one of those guys who competes at a high level, and pushes our defense. Then you have Will Wagner on the offensive side, who's our offensive coordinator, who's also a fantastic coach, who's a former head coach. So it's sort of like you got a head coach to defense, you got a head coach to offense, and I just sort of got to be in there and put my 2 cents in every once in a while, and they do a fantastic job though. And I've been blessed. I got to hire on a couple great coaches that's coached with me in the past, and I just think that it's going to be a great year at Oxford High School.
To all three players, can you talk about what's different about Coach Etheridge than what you were used to previously?
Coach Etheridge, he brings a different kind of energy to the team. He's very
So he brings a different swag to the team.
Yeah.
Let the players we can all have a different swag. His height brings it to every player.
Yeah, he's just different.
Is he looser or is he?
Yeah, he's not uptight.
Yeah.
Zay?
Like they said, he brings a lot of good energy. We come from having a coach who is a great coach and everything. But it's so we uptight, I guess you could say. But when you get loose, you feel better and shit comes easier.
Keith, when we spoke about 2-3 weeks ago, you talked about how happy and blessed you were to have the core of receivers that you have in this
Right.
offense this year. Would you expound upon that for everybody else in the room and just click them guys off?
I would say not only receivers but skill guys. Our secondary, every guy in our secondary has D1 offers. Every one of our receivers basically has offers to play at the next level. I think we may have one guy who don't, but we have a lot of talent. Our quarterback has offers. He just committed to Mississippi State baseball. He has some football offers. So we've got a lot of talent. And with guys like we have Zay Britt on one edge who can fly, who's got probably the best hands of any receiver I've ever coached. Runs great routes. On the other side, you got Rockefeller, who will go up and get it, 6'4", can play. We have TJ Vincent, who's a kid who hadn't played a lot in the past, who's extremely athletic, 38.5-inch vertical, just can run like a deer, has good hands. Then you have guys like Warren Britt, who will be eligible this year, who's worked his rear end off in the weight room and gotten stronger, and great route runner. And then you have Devion Ball, who's a kid who can do it all. You'll see him at safety, you'll see him at receiver, you'll see him do a lot of different things for us. We were at UAB yesterday, we're playing in passing camp, and he makes a phenomenal pick to end the game and win the UAB passing game for us. So, we beat Wetumpka yesterday, we beat, Park Cross, and we had great competition there, and our kids stepped up and, played great. And you're gonna, and the thing is, that's what I was telling our kids, each individual made plays during the day that got us to that championship point, and that's what it's gonna take during the year. You can't have that one guy, you can't have that one guy. It's gotta be a collective unit, and it's gotta be a team thing, and that's what we preach. There are not gonna be any individuals on this team. It's gonna be about Oxford High School. It's gonna be about Oxford football. And, that's the way we're gonna do it, and I feel like that's the way you win championships.
I'm assuming you watched film of last year. How does Trey look now compared to last year? How's he developed?
I think, he's got every tool. Trey has every tool. He's tough, he's hard nosed, he's got a cannon, he's got great speed, he's a kid that you can run in between the tackles if you want to, or he can get on the edge and he can uncork it. I mean, he'll, we're sitting out there at practice and he's throwing 60-yard dimes, so, and he can throw he can get it there quick and he can put touch on it. So it's one of those things, like I said, I feel so blessed to be here, because I've got an opportunity to coach a great young man, and I got an opportunity to work with great people.
Keith, you obviously know what championship teams look like from the 4 you had at Leeds. What are the characteristics of maybe your better teams that you had at Leeds compared to what you see here at Oxford, being 4A and 6A ball? I mean, talk about that a little bit.
Well,
what makes a champion?
Well, I think, and me and the guys talk about it all the time, the coaches talk about it, it's leadership, it's, and not within the coaching staff. Of course, you gotta have coaches who are leaders, and we've got great coaches, but it has to be the young men holding each other accountable. It can't be, coaches can't be the guy that gets on guys all the time. It's gotta be these guys stepping up, when you walk in a locker room and somebody's doing something they got no business doing, acting silly or something, it's time to get serious. And you don't have to say something because the other guys are handling it. That's when you got a chance to have a championship program. And these guys are serious about football. They're serious about winning. They're tired of going out in the third round. We want to play at Auburn this year. We want to be on that stage, and that's our goal. 15-0 and win a state championship. That's our goal.
To all 3 players, can you talk about that hard ceiling that's been there the last couple of years and how eager you are to kind of bust through it?
It's kind of like you want revenge because you get to the same point and then you get the same results. So you kind of want to go and you just think about it every day. I think about that loss every day, and I just think about how bad I want to be past the third round because you just tired of losing.
Like you said, we went out in the third round the past 2 years. I mean, that hurts, going out in the third round to the same team that you don't play in the region. But we just gotta, it's not nothing to do with them or anything, it's something to do with us. We just gotta hold each other accountable and work hard every day. Like, on this team, I love all my brothers. Like, no matter, it's all, I ain't gonna lie, I don't like them.
Sometimes you don't like it,
But I go to work for them any day, no matter what. Like, no matter what. I might not like you, but on that field, don't touch my brother.
Does JB step in to be the primary ball carrier this year?
Absolutely.
And how's he looking?
I've coached some great running backs. He may be the best I've ever coached. I've coached guys who rush for over 7,200 yards, 120 touchdowns. This young man's special. The other day we were in the weight room, benches 375, squats the house, ran a 4.45 40 at Jacksonville State Camp the other day. I mean, can catch the ball out of the backfield, can do it all. And he is the type of young man you want your kid to be.
You're welling up when you're talking about that.
I get emotional when I talk about kids. especially the real good ones.
What does it say about him that he was willing to come in and play the role he played last year and kind of wait his turn?
Again, it speaks to the type of young man he is. You know, I think he had 60-something carries for 600-something yards. I mean, that's over 10 yards a carry. I mean, and to accept that role and do what he's done and stick with it and not be a guy that, you know, takes off and transfers somewhere else, you know, and does something that, you know, that, I mean, he could have very well been playing for somebody else last year and carried the ball 300 times. I mean, really. I mean, he could be, he's that type of back and add 2,000 yards, you know. And it's gonna pay off for him big time. It's gonna pay off.
For the guys, and you know, you guys just talked about a couple minutes ago about it's a different swagger, a different out with the new coach. You just saw this here where he's talking about one of your guys and he's starting to get emotional. Would you have ever seen that from any of your other coaches before? And when you see that from that guy there, what does that tell you about what's there? And all three of you guys can address it because you sat here while he's done that.
That's like letting me know that he care about what my life is gonna be about longer, what I do after high school.
It just shows you how much, like, how he got attached to us as soon as he got here. Like, he only been here a couple months. It just shows you how much he loves us. And it shows at practice, every day it shows.
Yeah, like you said, Coach Etheridge, he cares about us more than football, beyond football. It doesn't matter if we even go 0-10, and he's still gonna love us and care for us and try to make us better fathers, because that's the type of person he is. Like, just winning football games is just a bonus.
Your other coaches ain't never cried before, have they?
I've gotten the nickname of Weepy from one guy. Yeah.
On this team?
No, previous.
Back there?
You know, I mean, my thing is I want to develop a relationship with each kid I coach. You know, my coaches did that for me in school, and that's why I got into this.
Are you willing to have your head shaved?
I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Question about you.
Keith, when you look at the schedule, you know, you said the goal is 15-0 and playing Auburn. But at what point in the schedule are you looking forward to most as the coach, to where you can sit down after the game and look at the film and say, okay, here's where we are and here's where we've got to be around in December?
Well, I mean, I'm going to take I'm going to give you the coach's answer first. I'm going to take each individual game and you know, we're going to stress right now, we're going to stress Mumford High School and playing that game. But of course, I cannot lie. You know, the Clay Chalkville game circling on our schedule and the Pinson Valley game circling on our schedule, but we're not going to overlook anybody. Those two games are tremendously important for us to get to a point where we're talked about as a contender. You know, those two games are circled on our schedule, and I can sit here and talk about other teams and things like that, and we're not going to overlook anybody. But for us to get to where we need to be, we need to beat those two teams.
We've gone almost 14 minutes without talking about who steps in up front for Big Clay Webb and first team All-State center you had last year.
Yeah, we've got, it's gonna be a group of collective guys. Coach Tapley does a great job with those guys. I think a name you're gonna see emerge from that offensive line group is Brandon Kirksey. He's had a tremendous spring, a tremendous summer. You know, he's 6'5", 330 pounds right now. He's tremendous, and his feet are getting so much better. You know, when he locks on you, you're finished. You know, he's one of those kids that is getting so much. He's a gentle giant, and he's getting to where he cuts it loose when he's on the field, and that's all we gotta have. And defensive front wise, we got, you know, we moved J-Rock back. Chardon's gonna play the nose. J-Rock's gonna play linebacker. He's already picked up a couple of offers from dropping back there. You know, J-Rock sacrificing a little bit, you know, because he was an state defensive lineman last year. He's the quickest ball get off and just tremendously strong. I mean, what did you get last time you maxed on bench, J-Rock?
415.
415 bench, you know, squats a house, and you know, I mean, he's gonna move out and play that linebacker. You got Christian Booth, who has 20-plus offers, playing that defensive end. You got Octavius Adair playing the other defensive end. You know, we're gonna be pretty good up front on both sides of the ball. We got some other guys stepping up too. We got a couple young guys that you'll see up front. You know, I'm not gonna let everybody know who they are, but they're stepping in and doing a great job. I've got a sophomore that probably started center, and he's gonna be real good.
Any other questions? Any other questions at this time? Coach, thank you again for being here today. Players, thank you so much. You can take your name card with you when you step down. In about an hour, there'll be food out here if y'all want to stay and hang around. I'm sure radio stations and other guys want to talk to you. Just stay in.
Thank y'all for putting this on.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate it. Thank